But first, for business banking manager Alfredo Rossano, fueling up takes on a whole new meaning at his choice. Though you might expect to fill up on donuts, hot dogs, and beef jerky at this pit stop, he says you're in for a gastronomic feast at a gas station. It's in Miami and it's called El Carajo.
This property used to be a conventional gas station, and where we are now used to be a car wash, a drive-through car wash. So it was separate from the rest of the building. It was in the trip to Italy and seeing what they were doing over there, and got the idea of a gas station in the middle of the highway with a fantastic gourmet restaurant. That was pretty impressive. The menu is based on Spanish tapas, and from there being international because of the wines, my original idea of the concept was to educate people into wine. I really love for the whole world to become wine knowledgeable and become wine drinkers. I think wine drinking is a style of living. It's not just consuming wine. El Carajo International Tapas and Wines is a wonderful thing to try to expand your horizons. Having a $100 bottle of wine in a gas station takes a little getting used to.
Tell me about this place, because you say that there are sights and sounds that you wouldn't expect at a regular restaurant.
It's really a restaurant that's a hidden treasure. It's located in a gas station, and you don't expect to find a Spanish cigar-rated restaurant where they have an extensive list of wine, delicious food, and very, very traditional flavor of typical Spanish food.
And we really mean gas station. I mean, you drive up. Because I think you had a funny story, right?
Well, I had driven by it and had the address, but I couldn't find it, so I turned around, did a U-turn. Then the number started going the wrong way, so I made a U-turn again. And I thought, well, I'm going to pull into this gas station and ask for directions. And little did I know when I walked into the gas station that that's where I was supposed to be.
So it's back. Yes. You know, you have the atmosphere. Music is different, and in your other ear, you're hearing people saying, well, $20 in number 2, $20 in number 10, and you don't. It's.
So what do you order when you go?
The tapas, the Spanish tortillas with chorizo.
Which is a potato, sort of an omelet made mainly of potato.
And the Spanish cauda, the croquetas, and they are just phenomenal. And the portion of foods are actually enough for actually 2.
Kristen?
Well, I went for lunch. So when I finally found it, I ordered the codfish with the tomato base with white rice. And the presentation was fantastic. I didn't expect that. It just came in a sizzling pan. I was so surprised. The wait staff was excellent. The decor also was very nice. And I just came back from Spain in June, and it really gave me that feel. And, you know, I thought it was just amazing that they had this gas station.
Right.
You were saying, you know, the mixing of senses. You know, you're sitting there drinking a glass of wine and you look up and there's a display for motor oil.
Right.
It's just kind of like, whoa,
unusual.
This really is in a gas station. But the food was amazing.
Do you remember what you had?
I started with the Galician soup, which was out of this world, so much flavor. And then I had shrimp with garlic and olive oil.
Yeah.
And I had quite a bit. And then I also had, because it was so good.
It's okay, we have time.
And then also had sausage and sautéed mushrooms, and all of it was excellent. And also, as you said, the service, very attentive and accommodating. And
How did you guys feel about the prices?
I thought it was quite reasonable, especially for the quality.
Yeah. I mean, for lunch, I thought it was a little pricey.
Right.
But if I went for dinner, definitely appropriate.
You really get your money's worth at the restaurant. Yeah. Apart from the tortilla, I also had a steak with mushroom sauce sautéed on top, and it is a big piece of steak with rice on the side.
I think people, if you're going to go, you have to be very open-minded. You're driving up to, I think it's a BP.
It's a BP gas station.
How did you ever find it?
It's funny that, well, growing up here, you know, we always used to go to that gas station for wine, because we always knew if you want a great bottle of wine at a really good price and knowledgeable people that can sell it to you. So it's always been something very special for the locals. Now, you had sangria, talking about wine.
Yes.
Tell me about the sangria.
I had sangria, very, very sweet, very fruity. We must have had like 2 jars of sangria. It was so good.
That's a good lunch.
Very good lunch. Delicious.
You had tempranillo?
Yes, I'm glad you said it, because I was afraid I was going to mispronounce it.
Doesn't matter.
No, and it was a nice wine to have with the
How did you finish your meal? What did you have for dessert?
I had the Santiago cake, which was an almond torte, and this was I don't want to say bland, but it was just kind of middle of the road. But I do have to give credit to them. They were telling me that I should have the milk crepe, and more than one person did.
Is it a panqueque de dulce de leche by chance?
Sure.
Probably.
But as I said, that's an excuse for me to go back.
Did you drink anything when you went?
I just had coffee, traditional coffee, because I was at
you're
work.
a doctor. You
Yeah, I
always
was
have to
at
be on
work.
call.
I didn't have any wine, but I was tempted. I mean, I was very impressed because when I was there, I mean, there were several dealers there, so they were tasting wine, and I said, this place is really serious.
I actually sat at that long table by the
In the middle of the
Yes.
restaurant.
And that, yes,
Okay.
yeah, and that was nice because you're sitting with people that you don't know, so that was a nice way to eat.
And I think you guys found it a little bit cold in temperature.
Oh, yeah, it was freezing. I had to go to my car to
I
get
did.
my jacket.
Okay, so take a sweater when
Yeah,
you go.
definitely would recommend go with a sweater.
Okay. Well, Alfredo, El Carajo is your choice. Give me a summary.
It stimulates all your senses apart from, your taste buds being it completely different than other Spanish restaurants, and I definitely give it a thumbs up.
Kristen?
Absolutely.
Oh, I think it was, as I mentioned, a hidden treasure, and I think I would definitely recommend it. But definitely just alert your, your company that it's in the back of the gas station.
I say you don't alert your company.
If you just let them go and let them know in advance, and then, of course, really try to take advantage of the wines.
Just so they don't drive by it,
Exactly.
just in case.
Right, that's
William?
I walked in and I was in disbelief at first, and then once the food was served, it was an amazing
Totally
experience.
different, yeah.
So I highly
Taste buds will
recommend
thank
it.
you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, you can fill up more than once at El Carajo International Tapas and Wine, located at 2465 Southwest 17th Avenue in Miami. Open Monday through Saturday for lunch and dinner. Reservations are accepted, and the average price for a meal without drinks is about $25.
This is the Café Bombón. We serve it here at Carajo. It's a 3-layer coffee. It's a mixture of condensed milk. Then we do the coffee, an espresso without sugar. Voila.